So we have a high noe during the reception. This is also kind of what we do during the ceremony. But it allows you to kind of see the space. And I'm going to see if I can blow it up a little bit. I'm just trying to find a good, let me see where the actual toasts start. Because we keep this here for the formal dances and introduction. This is kind of for the doc edit. And if we get a cool moment for the cinematic shot, we'll use it. A lot of times people stand up, you can't see. So here's the toast. Let me just bring that little piece down. Let's see, I don't need to see, where am I? I don't want to see browser. So our light setup, I actually don't see our second light. So this is one of our lights. It's backlighting our toaster. I'm shooting from the side. And our second, I'm having a really hard time looking in this. Here's the couple. Maybe this isn't going to be as beneficial because I thought you'd be able to see our setup. John, can you see our setup over here? Come help me.
Sorry.
Oh, hey, look, there's John with the torchlight. So he's about to help light this guy because he's standing in the dark.
Sir, what were you asking?
Well, I was looking for a second camera for, oh, those are two cameras. Okay, I must be on the toaster, and maybe that's on the couple. So literally just that right angle corner is really all you need. But this guy was walking around, so that made it hard. So this is just a safe shot, but it's really pretty. And I'm sure our other light, I don't know.
Did he take the microphone off the stand?
He did, but I don't know where our other light is. I thought our other Dita, oh, this is it right here. That's our switch.
Yeah. It's on, you can see it
Oh,
on
okay, so
behind the
it's just backlighting him. So that's why John's coming in. He's gonna fill him in. So during the toast, it'll start, and we're not done setting up yet, and that's okay. I'm filming it. We've got a safe camera on the bride and groom, and John will come in and do what we need to do with lighting. There are some toasts where we're constantly shifting around and moving until we finally get what we're happy
You guys,
with.
do not be afraid to shift. What you start with is not final. And the thing is, you may think to yourself, well, the start of the toast didn't look good, so why bother making the rest of the toast look good? The first part of the toast is usually some of the fluff. They don't get to the meat of the good sound bites until like midway through or later. So definitely feel encouraged or feel inspired to make your toast setup better and better. You know, there's often times it's not even halfway through toast until we find like the right angle for everything.
Yeah.
And so we're continuously looking, trying to figure out a way to make it better with lighting. Kaye's on a monopod getting other shots, and sometimes she's on a monopod. She realizes that the toast angle is wrong, and so we jump back and switch cameras.
And the light that is next to the band, our Ditos, are on the couple, so they're well lit when they come onto the dance floor. And then I move, I think.
So I think that was just the welcome. I think that's why we didn't have her.
Yeah, maybe. We really try harder for the toast. So I tell you guys, I'm off to the side. I know, right? She's not happy. So she wanted, I forgot what song she actually wanted, but they thought it was a Beyonce song. Actually, let me just.
Yeah, the band they found another song with the same name. And like it was totally random, and keep in mind, did you tell them she was feeling sick?
She had diverticulitis.
Yeah, she was feeling really sick.
So, but I'm shooting towards the crowd. You see the decor, you see the flowers. If she had a nice expression on her face, it'd be so beautiful. And I went ahead, because I'm on monopod, John's on Ronin, and since we have a safe camera rolling, if they wanted a doc edit of their formal dances, we don't give it anymore. That was still rolling, so I moved, and I wanted to get a quick shot with more depth, with some foreground of some people, and that actually turned out really nice because she finally started to cooperate and just danced even though she hated the song. And it only lasted a few seconds because then she stops. So this is 7200. I must be on a tripod.
Yeah, we saw you before. You're on a tripod.
Yeah, well, I couldn't really tell.
Usually the first dance you're on a tripod.
I am now. I used to be on monopod, but I do like the 7200 because it just adds the compression. Let's see, it says father-daughter dance.
Hey guys, can I say something that might not be obvious? if you don't shoot enough footage to create a doc edit, you can't sell one. So sometimes it's almost like doing spec work. Even if you're a solo shooter, having a safe shot and then just kind of like following on your camera, you can create a 2-camera edit for a doc edit for the couple. So even if they didn't pay for one, you have this 2 angles. You can always sell one after the wedding and then make more money and then create the edit.
So I guess that was kind of my question about the toast. So in that situation where you like it took half the toast to adjust, did you just not even offer it? Like
No, the doc edit can be rough. The doc edit doesn't have to be perfectly lit. Like, I'm not going to show camera movement when we're changing positions in the doc edit because we have other cameras rolling. That's why we have, again, that high and away. If both cameras are down, we can just cut to that for the doc edit, and then we reset up. But the highlight film obviously only gets like when it's finally a good shot. Yeah.
So the high and away is rolling for the entire reception, just for
Not the entire reception.
Just the introduction, formal dances, and toasts. Anything that they might want a doc edit of.
Sometimes it does the hora. We'll keep it on for the hora.
Oh yeah, it's a cool shot.
Because that's
too,
a
the
really
hora.
cool shot, especially when people are being lifted up into chairs. And you might get an angle that you might miss being a little bit closer.
And if you guys start doing a high and away, don't just put it on the dance floor by the speaker. The why it's so beautiful is because it's further. It's
Show
a
the
different.
shot.
It's a different perspective. You see the room. It's just.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll stand in the middle of the dance floor, and Kaye will kind of give me a thumbs up when she's focusing on me.
Yeah, and then we'll just leave it rolling.
Probably,
Yeah,
I mean,
when
maybe,
it's
but
that far away, I feel like 2.8 is okay.
That far
it's like
away
when
and
you're
that wide.
closer, it's going to be shallower, but that far away is okay. We're in a Catholic church. I'm still on Ronin in the back. We're very limited on what we can get. We chose to be on the ground floor instead of the balcony. I'm kind of thinking maybe we should have been in the balcony. But actually, now that I think about it, I don't think we could get a center shot in the balcony. We were going to be forced to be off to the side anyways because there was like maybe an organ or something. But so this is, let's see. So we have the wide camera that we put into the middle that we have to end up going to the side. To change lenses, get a little bit tighter eventually. I guess this is where the wide angle. John, that's so bad. Do you see the shutter?
Oh, yeah.
It's really bad. So what John's doing, he's on a camera also just right next to the wide camera. This is how he gets the processional because we can't get up front. We can't really go anywhere. And this is what I'm doing on Ronin. So I'm literally back to back with John. So all 3 of our cameras are like right next to each other. We're all just in the back row, all kind of standing next to each other. And I'm literally just following them in. But I feel like once you see where they're walking into, unfortunately the photographer is in my shot, I felt like there wasn't a lot of flexibility because we had a lot of gear on our side, so it only made sense for him to be over there. But from here on, I feel like it's kind of a cool shot that could be in the cinematic film, more so with the bridal party or the groom. So when the groom walks in, I mean, that's a great shot too, past the photographer, and then that's another option. So I kind of rotate around into the aisle, even though I don't think I was kind of supposed to. And then I do that for the whole bridal party. This is the Ronin, what I'm on, yeah. So I always try to do a gimbal during the processional. And what is? Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, I wouldn't know anything about the Panasonic. So I actually followed these. This was just so cute.
We don't do servo. Neither one of us do servo. Well,
No, this
okay.
has to be continuous because I can't touch to the button.
She's doing the, I'm sorry, we're not doing face, she's running servo with the box. We're not doing.
Yeah, and
we're
then I
not
just
doing
try to
fa-
keep everybody centered. Yeah.
We're not doing
yeah.
the face detect
Yeah.
servo.
And so then this is a shot again of the bride. So I actually am able to get a front shot of her. So even if you can't go down the front, if you're by the door, you can still get a front shot of everybody. And this is not the most glamorous wedding, but I actually feel like that's probably more relatable to you guys anyways. I mean, not all of our weddings are like super glamorous. We have regular people. And so we just have this shot here. I was scared to be in the aisle. Our church lady. Yeah, and then I put the Ronin down, and then I pick it back up when they come back. Now the lighting here is so bad. It's not like we can set up a light in church. Hey, you guys want to see if I can color correct this? I kind of want to see if I can color correct this.
Well, it's not even just the fact that like, even if this was a high-end wedding, there's often times when even with like a larger budget wedding, the bride will still want to get married in the church that she grew up in. And like it could be a really decked out reception, but a very plain looking church.
Yeah.
You know, a church like just like yellow like that the entire time. I mean,
Well, this is particularly bad because there's no lights here. Let's bring up the midtones. Let's bring up. I'm going to bring the red to touch, but then I'm going to bring down the danger zones. Oops. And so just looking at it, so red is pretty dominant, green is pretty dominant. Again, you have to look at the density too. There's not very much density in the blue. I'm just going to start pulling over to the cool. I don't even know what this is going to look like, you guys. It's just like totally experimental.
do we do the giveaway where Kaye will edit one of your wedding films? Did we forget to do that one?
So did I bring the blacks down? Let me balance that green down a little bit.
Oh, it's a lot better already.
Red down a little bit. And I'm going to bring the midtones up again. And I feel like the blacks, I think I need to bring down the blues and the shadows too, because it kind of reduces the saturation too in that color. And I am going to...
Oh. And guys, on the wings, the TV makes things on the wings like overexposed a little bit. So if you're on the wings, maybe check in a little bit because it looks totally different from the front. So you might not be even seeing it accurately. It's so weird, Kaye. It looks overexposed when you're on the side, but the closer you get to the center, it looks so much better.
Yeah, you have to get to the center. So honestly, this might be one where I actually do the luminescence because their skin is so dark. They have like really dark orange skin, so I actually want to bring up the luminescence of the orange. And I can actually pull it towards, totally experimenting. It's actually changing the background of the church a little bit too much. And I am...
Your subject in the front, you cared more about that than you did the background.
I mean, I kind of want to see if I can do all of... It started getting weird grainy though. Like when you saw the background, like when I'm targeting that, that's bad. I'm going to bring up... So I'm bringing up the shadows, and you can see the shadows are uneven. And then I'm going to try to even them. Even though I brought them up, I'm just trying to lighten the image, but then I need to balance the blacks again. Because they were so crushed, I couldn't see that they were uneven.
So you're bringing up the brightness of the shadows in order to properly get them.
Like a neutral black. So that could be passable. I think I could still probably bring out reduce some of the orangey skin tones. I would have to play with it a little bit more.
You would just use luminescence to bring the orange down.
Actually, I played with it. I don't think luminescence would be a good idea. So right now I'm playing with the saturations like here. So I thought I saw green tones in it, maybe not. I don't know, I might be done. It's starting to get grainy. I don't want to bring it up too much. I think, it's a dark situation. It's okay if it's still dark. I can also add a little noise reduction later, but that's way more usable than it was. So anyways, that was a fun trick. Do we what? Recessional. So if we're not in a hurry to get to the next location, maybe. But really, if we're in a hurry to pack up, we'll start packing up after the bride and groom recess. And we might leave the safe wide camera rolling. That'll just be the last camera we pack up. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the recessional is just like a formality to get everybody off the stage. So I feel like it's like as long as you got them going up, I don't know if you really need it. Unless they have special music coming down, like coming out, then they might want to hear the music if they have a musician. In those instances, I do try to, if we have the audio, I can even just extend just the audio if they just want to listen to the song. But, I almost forgot. Okay, this is actually a really cool little tip. So I was going through and getting all my detail shots. I think people might have still been in the room, so I'm like, I get low, so I shoot up so I don't see people in the room. But as you can see, the ballroom lights are on. So I have my torch LED lighting the side. So I never have it right behind me. I don't want the light at me. I want my light over here so I get that nice dimension. And so that's what I'm doing with everything. My light is on. This table, it's over here pointing this way. But as you can see, so I do all my shots. Then I'm like, you know what, this isn't as pretty as I thought it would be. It's like not as pretty as it is in person. And then I realized, I asked the coordinator, the planner, I was like, can you turn off the lights in the ballroom? And then suddenly I'm getting this. Yeah. And you're like, oh, I have to do all the detail shots again. Okay, hang on a second. And the people are about to come in. So I just totally forgot. Because the photographers didn't ask for the room lights to be dim. A lot of them do, so I don't think about it. But if they don't, go ahead and ask. Usually the planners and the venues are happy to do it. They're like, yeah, sure, let me turn off the lights. And so with my key light, suddenly the candles pop.
Off completely.
Yeah.
Well, or maybe like 3%, 5%, sometimes they'll do.
And so here's the head table. It's a little dark. Where?
I was at Biltmore Ballroom.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't have the uplighting on yet, and everything was on. It looked disgusting. I was like, this is and then they turned everything off, and the uplighting was like, oh, there we go.
Yeah.
It's the same
And you
thing
can
for
even
like
get us
formal
epic cake
dances.
shot.
If you think the formal dances or the area looks bad, it's usually because the overhead lights are on.
Yeah. So like I said, I did all the room shots and decided to redo them all.
For the formal dances, do you ask, because say it's like a massive space, do you ask for everything to go off, or?
No, if there's a chandelier, I like the
Chandelier's on.
chandeliers on because that's pretty. Can lights go off? Really, that's the only thing that's a problem is can lights.
Find people in the craziness that know exactly where things are and have them off.
Well, the idea is to get them off beforehand. You want them off before the introductions. I mean, that's
Yeah,
something that's
before
also
people
to
come in,
communicate
because
with
it
the
kind of sets the
planner.
mood anyway. I think they turn them off. Most of the time, they turn them off for people to come in because they want to set the mood, especially if there's like candlelight. But if they're on, I mean, sometimes I just grab a server and I'm like, hey, do you know how to turn off the lights? They don't know how to do it, but they'll go find someone who does. Yeah, so either a venue person or the planner will help.
And also, make sure you're talking to the band, because sometimes the bands will have huge racks of lights that are just facing the crowd because they want the crowd to be lit. Ask the band not to put the lights on for the formal dances or the toasts. They can do whatever they want once the party starts.
Something else, so if you want to see dancing footage with our lights, let's see, that's John's on the stage with the Ronin. But you can see people over here are lit by our lights.
And that's one of the reasons why I want those front lights next to the
They have
band.
a nice, clean, white light on them.
Did y'all decide you didn't like the run?
Go back to the last shot.
The Ronin S.
Go back to the last shot.
Um,
What I was just going to say for 1 sec, Matt. If we only had one light in the corner, then the other light in the other corner, that's good for kind of just like intermittent dancing footage. But both lights kind of washing over the front of the stage gets these types of shots where everyone is kind of illuminated. And again, you don't want to flood too much light on them, but just enough to kind of make them pop.
and this band actually had white lights, at least in this shot, so they're lit by their own lights, and it just happens to be a white light like ours is, and so this shot actually is really beautiful.
We never got used to the Ronin S.
The Ronin S was, for me, it's a little more shaky, and you can't do multi-axis stuff.
Yeah, we can't do multi-axis stuff. The people love the Ronin S because they love to do walking shots. But I find that walking shots just don't really look good. And the reason is because, when you're looking at your own footage, you're seeing, you know what I mean? You're seeing the steps in walking shots. Some walking shots are good, but really when it comes to even the walking shots, I'm always trying to turn like this. If you can do 2-axis movement while walking, you don't see the steps.
I got a dual handle for it, but it's still
Oh,
skinny.
I didn't know you could do that.
Get a
Yeah.
small rig, put out, but it's still narrow. I think Ronan actually put out a wider handle that's just like the M, but with the S7, you have to stand.
I like the stand better.
That's the
Yeah,
main
that's
reason
cool.
is you can't sit down.
Okay.
Um,
In this shot here, you can see the brunette here, even the blonde. You see a hair light on her, and their faces are lit. Those are 2 different lights. Those are our lights coming down on her.